Hey everyone, Kevin here. We have to do something because the SBA owes us $10,000, probably for each of us. Because even if you don't have any employees, or you just have a side hustle, you should be eligible for $10,000. But there's some shenanigans going on that you need to know about. So first of all, if you have no idea why I'm talking about you getting a free $10,000, this video is for you. If you've already applied for your free $10,000 and you're like, Kevin, where's my free $10,000? Well, this video is also for you. In this video, my goal is to give you an update on the shenanigans the SBA is pulling, and we have to work together to solve this, and I've got an idea for how. But the first thing I wanna do is I wanna show you the actual text of the bill. In order to pull this off, I'm gonna show you 3 short sections from the actual bill, and then I'm going to show you which documents those sections refer to. I've done all the research here to make this as simple as possible. Then we're going to compare that to what the SBA is trying to pull off on us. I'm telling you, the people at the SBA, they're sitting in their call centers or they're sitting at home with their headsets on going, these idiots think they can get a free $10,000. Hello, it's the law. That's why we're asking for our free money. So let's walk through this one at a time. And as a big thank you, I'm gonna have to ask you to pound the like button down below. All right, let's get into it. Folks, this is the actual stimulus bill. I'm starting on page 66 of the actual stimulus bill, not of the PDF, but of the actual bill. The section we're interested in is section 1110, Emergency Injury Disaster Loan Grants. Now, you probably heard me say loan, and if you're freaking out thinking, no, I'm debt free, I don't want a loan, or I got enough debt, I don't want another loan. Don't worry, this section is still for you. You're not taking out a loan to get this $10,000. Keep watching. Now, in order to be eligible, you must be a business with not more than 500 employees, which would mean if you have 500 or less, you'd be eligible, or any individual who operates under a sole proprietorship with or without employees, or as an independent contractor. This is huge because this now says, y'all realtors, barbers, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, any of y'all who got a side hustle, that's you. It does not say unless something. It just says any business or an individual who operates with or without employees as a sole proprietor. I mean, it says it right there. You read it again, but it's pretty clear to me. The other eligible businesses are like cooperatives or ESOPs or tribal businesses, fine, whatever. Now we're gonna keep scrolling, and if you wanna follow along with me, the link to this text is in the description down below. The link is actually right below the link to Webull, where if you deposit just $100, you could get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. Most people seem to get between $20 and $30, but even that is a really good return on $100, especially since it takes like 5 minutes to do. And their platform's actually pretty good. You get extended hours for trading. I love it, and I love free stuff. Let's keep going now with the $10,000 of free stuff. Now, see this section here, eligible entities? We're gonna come right back to that, so hold that thought. Here you've got some waivers, which say you don't have to be in business for a year. However, you do have to be in business as of January 31st. So if you were not in business on January 31st, you would not qualify for this free $10,000. So as long as you were working on that day and before, you're good. Now over here, you're going to see approval and ability to repay. Remember, there's this reference for loan that keeps coming up. Just put that aside for a moment. I promise I will explain that. The $10,000 does not mean you have to repay the $10,000. Keep watching. So here it says that you get approved using solely your credit score. It doesn't say you have to have a 600 or a 700. It just says administrator may approve an applicant based solely on their credit score and shall not require an applicant to submit a tax return. It does, though, have a little fine print that says the administrator may use an alternative method appropriate for determining your ability to repay. But that part doesn't really matter because the $10,000 goes to you whether or not you get approved for what they're talking about here. So stay tuned. This gets really good. Here it is. emergency grant. All right, folks, now this is the free money part. This is the juicy stuff right here, except it's very complicated, so I'm just gonna simplify it as much as possible because I've researched all of these sections that they refer to, and I'm gonna make this very simple for you. Basically, it says, an entity included for eligibility may request an advance of money, AKA $10,000, within 3 days after you apply for the loan. Boom! That's where you get your $10,000. Okay, now let's explain this loan part and let's break down those sections. Very important. And then I'm gonna show you what the SBA is trying to pull over your head because it's messed up. Here's how the emergency injury disaster loan works. In order to get the free $10,000, what you're actually doing is you're applying for a loan of up to $2 million. However, the bill, and I'll show you this, the bill says, even if you decide, you know what, I do not want the loan, I do not need the loan, or maybe I don't qualify for the loan for whatever reason, I am still entitled to this advance of $10,000. So whether you're denied or you don't take the loan or whatever, you still get the $10,000 advance. Now, if you take the loan, let's say you take a $20,000 loan and you take a $10,000 advance, then you're only going to get the extra $10,000 from that loan because the $10,000 is like the first half that they're giving to you up front. But most people don't want to apply or really want this loan anyway, because I think most of us, if you're gonna get a loan, you're gonna get the PPP. And if you don't know what that is, subscribe, we'll talk about it. Stay tuned. That's a totally different thing. That's basically free money up to $10 million. That's a lot harder, okay? This is filling out like 2 pages and take you 5 minutes to get $10,000 here. But let's go back to the bill here to make sure that we're reading this right because it's important and the SBA is trying to screw you. Quick note, just in case there's a future loophole where they're like, well, wait a minute, it says that if you're denied, you get to keep the $10,000, but what if you're approved? Let's say you're approved for $20,000, but you don't want the loan. That's okay. Then take the extra $10,000 they're giving you. That is, you got the $10,000 grant and the $10,000 loan portion, and then just immediately pay back the $10,000 loan portion. Boom, solved, but you're not required to pay back the initial $10,000 grant. Again, my understanding here, just the dude on YouTube trying to learn all this stuff with you, but that seems to make sense to me. All right, now let's go back to the text. In the text again, there were some things we skipped over, like paragraph 3 and eligible entity. What does that mean? Well, when we scroll up here to paragraph 3, we're going to see that paragraph 3 refers to section 7B2 of the Small Business Act. So we're gonna look that up, and eligible entity over here also refers to 7B2 of the Small Business Act. We're trying to close loopholes, right? We don't want them to be able to tell us you can't get your $10,000. We want our $10,000. But in order to get our $10,000, we also have to be informed citizens so that we don't get screwed. And that's why we're reading this text. And like, I'm not an attorney, okay? I'm just a dude reading these forms. So don't sue me, bro, if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to help get you a head start, okay? But here is section 7 of the Small Business Act, which, by the way, let me just say, just because you could Google the Small Business Act and see that there's a little linked section 7 here does not mean it's actually easy to find section 7B2. You'd think it is, but try to find it and challenge yourself to find it without me telling you, because you click on 7, you go to page 39. Well, you're gonna keep scrolling now. And this is why I deserve a like button press, okay? Or go down and join me in my courses down below. I've got a course on real estate sales, a course for real estate investors so you can make money, especially in a down market. We're talking about strategies for that. Property management, increase your cash flow by doing property management yourself. And yeah, I'm seriously still scrolling because you have to go down 21 pages to find 7B1 and 7B2. All right. So in order to be eligible, 7B2 says that to make such loans, lending institutions, blah, 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 may determine, blah, 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 that any small business, blah, 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 must be located in an area affected by the disaster, and you basically have to have suffered a substantial economic injury as a result of the disaster. So basically, as long as you were affected by what's now considered a national disaster, the outbreak, you're eligible under those 2 sections. So hopefully that clears up that crap that's buried in the, why don't they just say that in here? Are you serious? I don't get it. All right, now this purple section tells you that you do not have to repay the advance. It says here, an applicant shall not be required to repay any amounts of an advance provided under this section even if subsequently denied the loan under 7B2 of the Small Business Act, which is this emergency EIDL loan that I talked to you about on this whiteboard. So if you're denied for this, you still get the advance. You don't have to pay back. That's good. Now, just a heads up, it does say you're supposed to use the free $10,000 for things like A, providing sick leave to employees, maintaining payroll, in theory, I guess if you're like an S corporation, maintaining your payroll, meeting increased costs due to what's going on, especially with materials, making rent or mortgage payments, or repaying obligations that cannot be met due to revenue loss. There's your catch-all right there. If for some reason you have obligations that you can't pay because your revenue's down because of this, there you go. That's exactly what you want to spend this money on. Now, this is where the SBA is trying to screw us, which, by the way, if you have not yet applied for the $10,000, realize that only 1 million people are getting this free $10,000. There are 328 million people in the United States. So please watch this video right here. There's a link in the description to it. I walk you through exactly how to fill out the form, what website to go to, how to do everything. It's all linked in that other video. But right now it's important that we talk about the outrage that's happening because we just walked through the bill, but now look at what the SBA is suggesting. This is bad. Now, I just want to thank Seth Rosario for sending me this, but apparently this is what the SBA is circulating, and this is the kind of stuff that people are hearing on the phone. So you have to be prepared with the knowledge that I just explained to you if you call the SBA, and it helps to understand what they're saying, because this is bogus. Let's talk about this. First, we're gonna go to this section here, the EIDL. This is that application, how to fill it out, which I talk about in the other video. But very important, what they actually say when you scroll down here. Notice what it says here. Advance, up to $10,000 depending on number of employees. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. That is not what the bill said. Let's go back to the bill really quick. It says, the amount of the advance provided under this subsection shall not be more than $10,000. Notice it does not say up to $10,000, and it doesn't say conditioned upon how many employees you have. Now, when I keep scrolling, they've got some FAQ here, but I love this. I do want to highlight this because this is something that I've said in my other videos as well. If you're in doubt as to whether or not you qualify based on what I've talked about, when in doubt, apply. I do agree with this. They've got some FAQs here, some more information we can look at, things that are going to be requested, like you have to fill out some of these forms. They may request tax returns and that. That's for the loan part. But the advanced part, this is really important. And the SBA is screwing this up. In fact, the SBA seems so confused and they're screwing this up so badly. The United States Senate sent a letter to the administrator, the president, I guess, of the SBA. And at the bottom, in this letter, they say, emergency economic injury grant. The CARES Act included a requirement that a $10,000 grant be awarded within 3 days of an application to the SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program to help cover operating expenses while waiting for loan processing. Are SBA staff prepared to fulfill this requirement? Look at that. The United States Senate is going, hello, we told you all, give the people the $10,000 they need. And at the beginning of this, it's actually very well written. They say, hey, look, people need money right now. The whole point of stimulus is to give people the money they need. So if you're affected by this crisis, reference this Senate letter. I'll link this down below. Send this letter to the person you talk to on the phone or read this section to them. Again, the CARES Act included a requirement that a $10,000 grant be awarded within 3 days of an application. Nobody's gotten their grant money yet. So how do we handle this? Well, my opinion is, first of all, you have to arm yourself with knowledge. Get the text of this bill. Get the text of that SBA section. I've linked this all down below for you. Get this Senate letter. Everything is linked down below. Right below my courses and my coupon code for my real estate education and yes, the Weeble stuff. Yes, I make money if you buy my stuff. But I'm a business owner too, just trying to survive, okay? But anyway, take these links, arm yourself with knowledge and information, and then contact your senator. If you don't know who your senator is, I recommend you go to Google and type in your county name followed by senator. Send your senator an email and go, yo, senators, I applied. Here's my confirmation number. I did not get my $10,000 yet. It's been 3 days. What is going on? Also, as in addition to following up on this, if you have not yet applied for your free $10,000, make sure to go watch that other video where I walk you through step by step on how to apply. Oh, and just a heads up, see this box here? This box is going to teach you how to start a business during these crazy times. I'm releasing that video later today, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm going to introduce to you 3D Matterport scanning using this camera, the Insta360, tips, tricks, everything you gotta know. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.